All right, it's probably gonna prompt you guys to say that it's okay if I record. Okay, I'm gonna make this super duper quick. So if you are on your phone, you can do this from an app. Like I said a minute ago, I planned on sharing my screen to my computer, but it said I needed an update, which is very typical of me. So what you'll do, one thing that you can do is from a desktop or even an iPad if you want to go to Safari, or from your phone if you don't have the Beachbody app installed yet. Go to beachbodyondemand.com. Then you're going to go to nutrition, and then you're going to see programs pop up right there underneath nutrition. Once you click on that and it loads, you're going to go to the programs, and then you're going to see all the different ones. And we are talking about the gut protocol on this call. And just really quick, the first thing that is on my checklist that I send to all my people that are starting with me, all my clients, is to watch Autumn's videos. And this is where a lot of people are getting confused and hung up, because as I am your coach who is walking through the program, but Autumn is the one who created the program and has the actual lessons for us. So you're not going to be watching videos of me talk about the gut protocol. You're going to be watching these videos with Autumn. So what you're going to do, you can go to the Start Here tab, and it's immediately going to pull up basically just like what's the foundation of a healthy gut, and you're going to learn about Autumn and her story, and then you can access the program guide, and that they'll give you PDFs for that. So I'm just clicking on this as an example, which my computer takes forever to load PDFs, so I'll come back to it. But you can click on those PDFs and load those and print those off and do what you need with that. The actual lessons, so that you can actually learn what the protocol is and how you're going to accomplish that, is right here. You're just going to click on lessons. Going to load for you. There you go. And you're just going to watch these in order. There are 4 videos here, 4 steps to feeling great. So you're going to watch those. They're very, very short, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, one's 10 minutes. And then throughout the gut protocol, you're going to watch these weekly focus videos. So before you begin week 1, you're going to watch week 1. Before you begin week 2, after you finish week 1, you're going to go to the week 2, week 3, and week 4. And then she even has, so you have to scroll down past this little ad here. She also has reintroduction and what comes after the gut protocol, and then how to stay in maintenance mode with the gut protocol, which is where I'm currently at for the most part. I made one little tweak with some red meat, but other than that, I'm still on the gut protocol. So there's that in terms of lessons. And so that's strictly like her explaining what it is and how to work it. For our bonus materials, these are, again, this is her gut health journey. She's already shared that once. Here is her matcha recipe, which this is also confusing to me. And if I had to talk to Autumn herself, I would be like, why didn't you put your matcha recipe with the recipe tab? I do not understand that for the life of me, but it's under bonus materials. So there's that. And then container basics. I think that's really important to watch if you've never done the portion fix, which is our normal container system. Because it's really going to explain to you how these containers work in the first place, and then how we're using them for the gut protocol. So if you are not well versed in the containers at all up to this point, I would watch this before starting the gut protocol, just so you know the basis for why they even exist. This is very self-explanatory. It's recipe videos, and they do have a PDF with them that you can print off. They have the container count. That's something you can check out on your own. This tab initially didn't exist, the meal plans and recipes, because Autumn and really all of us as coaches as well, we don't really like to give out meal plans because people have different tastes. And I use an example today with someone. There's no need for me to create a huge meal plan for you where I love salmon and turkey and quinoa, and you hate those 3 things. And that's like a staple every single day in that meal plan. So what we love about the containers is that you get a list of foods you can have and how much you can have of those foods, and you get to decide what you're going to eat. And that also empowers you to make your own healthy choices so that you're more likely to stick with it when you've got skin in the game. However, she does, a lot of coaches were like, hey, this is a little bit different. Can we just have one little meal plan for every calorie bracket? So if you go to this tab, she gives you like a basic day in the life for each calorie bracket, just so you can see like what she would eat if she was eating on that calorie bracket and hitting that target. And so you can print that out, and there's also some more recipes to go with that as she explains that meal plan. And then the resources is kind of just all of the things put together. Honestly, I only used, let's see, I didn't use a daily tracker. I really only used the program guide. I didn't even actually look at these other things, to be honest, because I calculated my health with the program guide. So anyways, you do need to calculate where you're at. And this is something I want to hit at like right out of the gate. If you calculate on plan A and you're starving after the first day, you need to move up. You don't get bonus points on this plan by starving. Like starving does not equal bonus points. You are supposed to be nourishing your body. And if you're like in that freak out mode of like, I need more food, I can't go to bed like this, then you need to bump up a calorie bracket and go to B. I calculated on plan A, but I chose to do plan C just because I refuse to ever starve. I hate feeling hungry. So I decided to eat on plan C, and I still lost 9 pounds throughout the 4 weeks. So you're going to lose weight if you're cutting out sugar and you've been binging on sugar like I was. You're going to lose weight if you're eating all of these healthy, clean foods. And prior to this, you were eating processed foods and stopping up your system with fried foods and all of those things. So it's going to work for you pretty much no matter what calorie bracket you're eating on. So do not let yourself starve. That's not to say that there's not going to be kind of an adjustment period where if you've been seriously overeating, then you're going to have to let your stomach go back to its normal size. That's different. For the most part, like you don't want to feel hungry. That's not the goal of this. So if you're on plan A and you're hungry, move up. And then another thing too that I want to hit on, which Autumn talked about this, but I just want to reiterate, you need to list, like when they say listen to your body, you need to assess what foods are doing to you. If you, like one of my coach friends, she did the gut protocol all the way through all 4 weeks and did it as she was told. But she still didn't have results like she wanted. And she knew deep down it was because she can't do beans and she can't do very many of the grains. She can only do very specific grains like oats and a few other things. So she had to cut out a few extra foods that she knew her body didn't agree with, and then she saw results. So sometimes, like just because it's on her food list doesn't mean it's always going to still like do well with your body. So make sure you're like paying attention to that. We did have one coach in the group today, or one client in the group today, talking about how she's bloating really bad this first week. We are eating so many vegetables and we are getting in so much fiber that it is normal to not feel normal the first week. Your belly is going to be digesting things completely differently than the way that it was before. We are eating foods totally different than we were before. A lot of us were used to raw veggies a lot, raw salads. So eating these cooked veggies that's totally different on our gut than these raw salads were. And not to mention, it helps your gut digest more efficiently. And so you're going to be able to use the bathroom a little bit easier on this first week as well. So your body's going to be a lot of up and downs in that first week. And also with energy, most of us have found that it takes about 2 weeks for your energy levels to start to stabilize. And basically what's happening is your body is finally learning how to stabilize your blood sugars without waiting on your next hit, waiting on that next sugar hit. So just trust the process, at least make it through that 3rd week. I haven't had anyone yet finish this and regret that they finished it. I'll put it that way. So another thing too, I want to touch on right here is this treats and substitutions. It says like sometimes you give your body rest and reward for hard work. And that means you can indulge in a small treat. And so make sure you're accounting for it still. But you can do these once a week here. So I know you're probably looking at this list and you're like, I would not ever have called that a treat. But after you're doing the gut protocol, these things are treats. So you've got these oatmeal cookies, chocolate covered almonds, chocolate covered raisins. I mean, 20 pieces, that's pretty significant. Two mini boxes of raisins. I personally would not choose any of these top dried fruits as my dessert. It's not really my thing, but if that is your thing, then like go for it. A date. I'm the girl that's gonna go for some potato chips, and I'm the girl that's gonna go for some oatmeal cookies and gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. Like that's where my brain's at with this. So you can have these once a week. And I remember on the because here's the thing, no matter when you do the 4-week gut protocol, it's going to land on a time where there's a special event or a holiday that you're going to have to practice some self-control over. But you can plan for your treat to be like for me, for Easter, I made a vegan carrot cake, like oat bread thing, like cake, kind of. You could kind of call it cake, but it did the trick. And so while everyone else was eating their dessert, I cut into mine, and I promise I did not feel deprived. It was still a treat for me. I enjoyed it. And so you can plan your treats around things like that. And then let's see if that one program guide, I just deleted it. Never mind. The program guide had finally loaded and then I just clicked out of it. As far as measurements go, I had this question earlier today too. You are going to want, when it says your arm, you're going to measure around the thickest part of your arm. When it says measure your leg, you're going to find the thickest part of your leg to measure. When it talks about your bust, you're going to go right through the thickest part of your breast area. And sadly, that's where I always lose most of my inches, but it is what it is. Some people measure their necks because some people really like to see if inflammation goes down here, if they lose fat here, because you really do lose fat first in your upper body and neck. That's usually how it kind of melts off. So some people choose to also measure their neck. When it talks about your waist, I go right at my belly button every single time. So I just make sure that my measuring tape is right around my belly button. And then hips, I do the thickest part of my hips, which is my butt. So when it says hips, it's really talking about the top of your glute butt area there. So you can Google and YouTube and find videos where they explain that as well. But I just wanted to explain that really quick. Just go to the thickest part of whatever body part it's talking about. Let's see. I feel like that stool chart. There's a stool chart so you can tell what's going on with your bowel movements. There is a food tracker worksheet so you can keep up with what you're eating. And then this is just a daily tracker so you can like mark things off as you go. But really, everything else is here for you to like peruse. Are there any questions that you guys have? Anything that you've dealt with specifically, or words of wisdom even, if you've been on this?
Today, I feel awesome. Like I've done great. I've followed, I bumped my plan down. I technically fall under bracket D, and I bumped down to bracket C because it fit more of how I eat during the day. And because I was like, bracket D, that's a lot of food.
So much.
And so I was like, I'm gonna bump it down, and I am so full like today, but I feel really great. I have celiac and lactose intolerance. So whenever I eat that stuff, I feel really, really tired. And there was really no way for me to like I could have cut it out, but it's more fun to eat the stuff with gluten and the stuff with dairy. But I was really hurting myself doing that. And today, like, I already feel a huge difference.
That's so good. I'm so glad to hear that. What day are you on?
One.
Day 1. Yep. Yes, yes, yes. So you're in the phase where you're going to feel awesome one day, and then the next day you're going to feel a little tired and sluggish, and then you'll feel awesome again. But by week 3, everyone says it stables out. It stabilizes at that point.
That's good to know. That way I know that if I have that day where I'm like, not feeling it, that's good to
Right.
know.
Well, and sometimes too, because like when we were at the beginning of it, we were like, are we doing something wrong? Like, did I eat something wrong? And that doesn't necessarily mean that you ate something wrong. It's just your body adjusting those first 2 weeks.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I will go ahead and hop off, and hopefully I answered a lot of questions for people that are just now getting started. So we'll share this to the group. Bye, you guys. Thanks for hopping on.